This video is going to walk through our process of ensuring that our Arduino, particularly the Nanos, are going to talk to our IDE or our Arduino software, and we want to make sure that we can use our Perplexity or the AI to be able to develop the code that we need for this. So this is an option instead of flow all if that's not working effectively for you. So you can see I've basically outlined the key things that you need to be able to sort of include when we go to develop our code. So we need to tell it what we need. We need to talk about what inputs and outputs are required. And if you then clearly state whether you want to have the digital analog pins and what they're being used for. I always find it really useful to add that serial print to output to show results, and then asking those comments for what's happening. Results, you might actually want to let them know that you want the raw data there as well, including raw data. So that way you can see if you've got any of the pins that are reading. In the example that I've got here, I'm going to be reading a thermistor and outputting it to an LED on D2. So what I'm going to go through is I'm going to grab the code that I would be, or sort of output what I'm going to ask. So I would usually do this in a Word document or in my OneNote. So I'm going to use that. And the example I'm going to start with is the super simple, just flash the built-in LED. And in my case, I'm going to say LED 2 as well. So I want the Arduino code written. I need D2 LED to flash, 2 seconds on and 2 seconds off. I want pin 13 to flash at the same time, and I'm just going to grab that at the same time and add that underneath. I probably don't need the raw data because I'm not actually reading anything there, but I'm going to get a serial print there as well. So I'm going to grab that. That's really the clear instructions on what I'm asking from it to be able to do. So here's Perplexity. You could use Chat, you could use CoPilot, you could use any of the AIs. I'm using Perplexity because you don't need to sign in, and it works out fairly effective. So we ask it that. It's going to now drop through my pin information that I can literally copy across. It gives you some information about what it's trying to tell us. And by including those comments, you can see it's given me each line of code is telling me what it's actually doing. So I'm going to copy that, select all, and paste it over here. So we can see we've got all the information that we need to be able to turn those pins on and off. We've got the delay, and that loop is going to go through there. So that's happy. I've got my initial testing code in there ready to go. I'm now going to go onto my board, and generally you're going to go select other board and search for your Nano, in my case at the moment, or Uno if you're using one of those. But the key thing that you want to be able to see here is that you've got your serial port USB. If you don't have that, then you'll probably need to see your teacher and confirm that you've got the right USB serial driver to be able to run the Arduino that you're trying to use. So I'm going to select that one in this case. You may need to have a little bit of a play, so you can go into tools and sort of adjust these as well if you need to from there. I've got that in there, that's happy. You might need to select the old bootloader depending on which Arduino we have. In my case, if I remember correctly, mine is the 328P. So I'm going to leave that there, and I'm going to go and upload that now, which brings up this bottom box here, which is telling me that it's done, and we can see that it is now functioning. So we can see that what I've got going on there, the LED, because I've got it running on a lower current, I haven't included my LED with the resistor, but he hasn't hasn't blown that, which is convenient. And then you can see I've got the internal one, which is pin 13, flashing 2 on, 2 off. So I can see that the settings that I have for my Nano are correct up here. That's fantastic. The other thing that you want to be able to turn on is in Tools, and I'm going to turn on my serial monitor. And what that does down here is tells me what's happening. So it turns on, turns off. So what I'm going to add now to my code so I can actually check my thermistor is I'm happy with those 2 pins. I've got those dialed in right. What I'm going to ask now is I'm going to go back over to my Word document, and I'm going to tweak this code. So I still need the code. I'm going to ask for on analog pin, what did I say? I had analog pin 2. I have a thermistor that wants to turn on LED and on pin 2. Okay, so if I adjust that wants to turn on that, I need to print there, including raw data, so I can see when it gets hotter. So we're imagining that the LED might be a fan or something like that we're controlling when the temperature increases. We'll go through that. So I'm going to grab that and I'm going to drop that code in to test that now. So if I go on and I'm going to change that now, so drop that in there. Okay, so now it's got my code for that one there. Now it's gone and actually given me further information than what I need. So it's actually gone and changed the analog value. I'm actually going to go back and just say, Mr. Leave it at the analog value, no converting to degrees. And let's see if we change that just to keep it simpler in this case. It might be what you need, but in this case, I want to keep it simple. And that looks better. So I'm going to copy that across. I'm going to select all that and paste that in. So we can see that we've got our thermistor. So if I needed to, I can actually change what pins I'm connected to. So I could actually include or tweak that if I ended up changing my pin out. You can see that we're doing that, printing the sensor value of the raw data by reading the analog pin, and then we are deciding that sensor value is 512. So if it's greater than that, we're checking that threshold. So that's basically saying if it's hotter than 512, we're going to change that. So let's try that and see what is going on and if that's accurate. So we can see that we've got the thermistor data is down and he is not doing what he needs to. So I think I moved the pin from where I needed it to be. It's always good when you have a demo, and that is not doing what I need it to do either. But you can see that we're getting the data through, and because I moved the pins when I shouldn't have, we're getting some interesting data through. So I'm going to, and that is not getting me anything. So I will play with that one further. You might actually want to be all the way over there, if I remember correctly. Does that look closer? No. All right. So ignore my bad wiring. I should have checked that before I started the video. But we can see that we're able to then look at what the data we're getting in, and if I need to change that threshold so that it's accurate, I can do that at the same time. So through that process, I can check each of my circuits, the inputs and the outputs, by asking for the specific pin to turn on or off or flash as I go through. We saw those nice, easy demos that I had through there that we can sort of prompt the AI to develop our code for us.